everyone. It's Wednesday. Turn this off. Here we go. Not off yet. Hang on. There we go. There. So welcome. It's Wednesday night again. And we are here. Get adjusted. There we go. We are here for our live. There we go. Live Wednesday. And I've got a few things in store for you. First to vote. I didn't have time for my eyelashes tonight, so I figured it's better to be here a little more on time than flashing some sporty lashes. So anyway, last week they looked a little droopy. That was kind of funny. I thought, oh, it looks like I have palsy or something. Anyway, tonight we have a few things I wanted to talk about. There's a few of you who have been talking about how hard it's been for you to stay grounded. And hang on one second. I just remembered this other thing I'm supposed to do for my team, and I always forget. So hang on. Turn it around. There we go. Okay. Recording. Okay, good. Yeah. So one of the things I wanted to talk about tonight was some of you are having a hard time staying grounded. So you say, I do your meditation and I do the process, and I'm just really having a hard time staying grounded. And so if you don't have a way of confirming that you are indeed grounded, then you're not going to know. You're just, going through the motions. Well, I did the thing. And so, I should be grounded, but maybe you're not. And so, unless you have a way of testing, I recommend muscle testing. So it's actually with your non-dominant hand, the baby finger and thumb, because the baby finger is on a different circuit. So those two connected, and then duckbill with the other two fingers, thumb and index finger. And then you put it into here and you're trying to open it like this to get your yes or no. So if it's a no, you always ask a test question. Am I a dog? It should say no, and it will open because it's a no. Then you ask the other test question is my name Kimberly? And so that's yes. So it's nice and strong. Strong is a yes. So when you think you've done your grounding, you've gone through the process, then you have to ask, am I grounded? If it goes like that, you're not grounded. So get really good at practicing this. This is the most basic part of what I teach, but it's the most important part. If you miss this, everything else doesn't matter. So really important to get grounded. And so one of the things that a lot of you are missing, because you're putting down the grounding cord, but then it disappears again. And this is because of the 20 AI cords that have been plugged into your root chakra. This is the most common way that they are trying to interfere with your ability to stay grounded and in your bodies and at a high frequency, etc. So that is one of the first things I wanted to talk about today. Let's see who we've got here. We've got Colorado Springs. We've got Florida. We've got Tennessee, New York, Illinois, South Florida, Hawaii, Atlanta, Maryland. Wow, lots of you are great. Oh, thank you. Looking gorgeous tonight. I keep contemplating whether or not I should cut my hair. It feels kind of like hangy, Los Angeles, welcome. Arizona, and Monique from New Hampshire. It is always 20 cords in the root. I know, isn't it? Sometimes it's more, sometimes it's other things, and but that is their most common way of infiltrating that will just totally throw you off. So be sure to confirm that you are grounded. It's actually this way, grounded. Confirm you're grounded so that you know. Super important. And then from there, then you can go off to other things, confirming other things. And so for those of you who don't know, maybe you don't even know me. So I'm Kimberly Sherry, frequency alchemist, longevity mentor. I've been in the healing arts for more than 40 years. And I originally started off doing body work, and my hands got very, very smart. I've gone on a lifelong expedition and journey of elevating and clearing uh family traumas. We are the healers are given the biggest things to heal, right? So I had sexual abuse. My father was an alcoholic, raised in a religious cult, and an abusive marriage, divorce, so lots and lots of things that I've gone through, mastered those energies. And as you know, some of the most profound experiences for me in being able to break through some of these energies have been one, plant medicine. That was very big for me. I was called to the jungles of Peru to work with the shamans and ayahuasca. After 25 ayahuasca journeys, I broke through the Hawkins scale. Maybe some of you are familiar with the Hawkins scale, power versus force. That scale only went to 1,000. And so in 2012, I broke through that scale after all this ayahuasca medicine, and then created the infinity scale, the infinity system, because I was just looking for my book. Oh, there it is. Because I was able to break through that scale to now it goes to infinity. There's infinite possibilities available. So, for those of you who don't know, this is all outlined in my book, Access Your Ultimate Power, the blueprint to infinite intelligence, available on Amazon. So that outlines the system that I use. And so when I'm talking about certain things, whether you're joining us for a monthly luminary activation, or you just hear me talking about things here and you don't, what the heck is she talking about? Where is this? What is that? This book will answer all those questions. So that's super, super helpful. A couple other things I want to talk about before we entertain some questions. Is there a loop with the 20 chords? Sometimes there is, sometimes there's not. So confirm. Is there a loop? Yes or no? That's how you can find out. And California, welcome. Okay, so a couple of the things, and Maryland, thanks for swooping in. A couple of the things I wanted to talk about. The staying grounded, Queen. Alan Watts, I was listening to him, and in my weekly newsletter I send out, I usually try to include someone that has a really high frequency, somebody I recommend that is worthy of listening to, because there are a lot of people that used to be high vibrational, and it's not like their message is bad, like Tony Robbins, Joe Dispenza, on and on. However, the dark side is using them and their popularity and their platform to bring in those darker frequencies that are underneath and behind all of that. And so the way that I know that is, one, I check to see if they're grounded. So Tony Robbins doesn't have a grounding cord anymore. All of his creative rings have become compressed. His heart is closed. And so he can still say the same words and deliver the same message with the same enthusiasm. But unless you're able to check, you may not know that these darker energies have infiltrated behind. So that's why every week I try to recommend someone or something that has a high frequency that is worthy of listening to. And Alan Watts is he's very good. In my last newsletter, I included a video of his that, even though it was generated by AI, it was his speech, and a speech that he did. So this is his message, his words, even though graphics and whatever. So Alan, the one that he was talking about today, I thought it was very good, and that he was talking about how that early morning, when we first wake up in the morning, we are very programmable. It's before we, look at our phone, before we let the noise of the day start to infiltrate. There's a very a special time when we are more programmable and pliable, and this is where the thoughts that we think, so when you first wake up in the morning, notice those initial thoughts that you have first waking up. Is it like dread? Oh no, I have to do this, or well, or are you excited about the day? What are you telling yourself? So those first thoughts that you think of the day are what is going to um, create the foundation for your entire day. And so we want to make sure that those thoughts are supportive and that they are, uh, you know, helping us to go in the direction and the path that we keep talking about we want to go. But are your thoughts aligned with that? So, really important those first waking moments before you get out of bed, before you touch your phone, before, you know, a lot of things. You notice what your thoughts are. And if they're not aligned, if they're not helping you on your path, then start saying some words in your head or even out loud that are more supportive. Like, I am, I don't know, I am blessed, I'm abundant, I am um, vibrant and free, and things come to me easily and effortlessly, and I look forward to an amazing day, or whatever it is. Let it be supportive, and it's really less about the words, and it's more about how you're feeling about the words. So anyway, he had a really good um, message in his video. I don't remember what the name of it was. Actually, yes, I do. It's called um, It Works in Just Days, The Mind-Changing Wisdom of Alan Watts. So that was, that was a really good one. Alan Watts' speech is the platform it was on. So, that was Alan Watts. So that, yeah, that's really good. Another thing I wanted to talk about is investments. I don't usually talk about investments. I don't think I ever have actually, but I thought I would, just because some of you are investing or you'd like to invest, or maybe you're wondering what to invest in. Now, I'm certainly not claiming any kind of special knowledge about what stocks are going to explode, or um, but I'll tell you what I have invested in, and why. And so then you can decide for yourself. I'm not promising anything. I'm out there winging it just like a lot of you. But um, so there are a couple. One is well, Amazon, and it's not because it has a high frequency. It's only at 500, but because it is the wave of the future, right? It is the wave of the future. And so as an investment, that's one place I'm putting my money. Tesla, also another very promising. Now that one vibes at infinity because he is so future thinking, and his products affect so many different areas, like human robots, cars. He's also creating homes that are like instant pop-up homes that are and so he's all about mass volumes that people can afford. So I think he's bringing out the new Tesla in 26 next year. That's he's saying is only gonna be about like $12,000, so I don't know. We'll see about that. Um, there's 2 other ones. There's one I didn't write down, darn. Maybe it'll come to me, but the other one, you'd have to write this down, and when you look it up, you'll see what it is. It's, RYTM, which is it's actually a pharmaceutical company. And so I did a funny thing that I worked with ChatGPT to find out stocks, but it was more framed in stocks that are because my AI has been trained that that I'm high vibrational and I'm, have a certain outlook about the future. And so that's actually what it was helping me find stocks that are more forward thinking, that are contributing to a higher frequency on the planet, etc. So when I asked about peptides and then human robots, because it's the wave of the future, right? We just have to can't fight this stuff. So RYTM is one of the ones that was related to pharmaceuticals. Pfizer also came up, but I don't support Pfizer. So this RYTM is a pharmaceutical company, but I found it when I was asking about peptides. So that's why I'm doing that one. There's one more, and I can't remember. Yes, Rhythm Pharmaceuticals. Thank you for checking on that. Yes. Um, that's exactly what that is. And then there's one more. Can't remember what it is now, but yeah, you don't need a lot of different ones. The when you go through Robinhood, when you look at up the different uh, stock things. I'm kind of new to this, so if I sound like I don't know what I'm talking about, it's true. But anyway, when you scroll down on the page of the particular stock, you'll see whether or not they're recommending that you buy it, hold it, or sell it. And so when it's way up in the 93, 95 percentile to buy, it's like, well, yeah, okay. So that's another way that I decide on what I want to buy or not. So anyway, that's kind of an interesting thing. Hey, Sandy. Um, let's see. What else do we have here? Hmm. Um, okay, so all right, so one more thing I'll share, but I won't share the whole thing because I don't know the results yet. But it was recommended, and I just think it's a good idea based on, especially because of what I do with longevity and so forth. I've always been curious, like where are my markers? I've had my uh, biological age tested twice, but they were kind of with tests that, I don't know, not real thorough. One said 59, the other one said 51. So I'm going to take this, or I did today, took this really thorough blood test that measures about 150 markers. And because I'm curious, and it will also give my biological age. So in the next couple of weeks, I'll let you know what that is. And because I'm curious. And so the blood test that I'm getting had mine done with was through Function Health. You can do that online. I think it's $365 for this whole panel. And you don't need to do it through insurance or with a doctor or any of that. They just give you your results, and I'll let you know how it goes. So that was one other thing I wanted to let you know. All right, let's entertain some questions here. So we have, hang on just a second. My friend Rosemary is new to the live update and would like a scan. She's on the chat. Okay, good. Well, thanks for inviting Rosemary. All right, Rosemary, you ready for this? I'll just tell you a few things, but like they're the most important things. So one is you don't have a grounding cord. So that's what I was talking about in the very beginning about how important the grounding cord is. If you don't have that grounding cord, you're like a house without plumbing. There's nowhere for the energies that are not yours, all those foreign energies. There's no place for it to go. And then it backs up, feels really uncomfortable. So then that kind of kicks us out of our body. So it's not uncommon for people to only be occupying their body 3%, 5%, 15%. You can still function like that. You might notice if you're among those people that you feel kind of spacey, kind of like you're looking through the world through a clamshell, and you kind of feel detached and disconnected from your body. So, in your case, although this would be maybe Rosemary could let us know how this feels for her. because you're only occupying your body 5%. And so the danger of that is that it's a way of coping. I get it. If you don't have another way of knowing how to release these energies that are not yours, that feel uncomfortable, this anger and fury that's not yours, fear is another energy that kicks you out. In your case, Rosemary, it's more fury than fear. And so you might not feel like angry, but maybe you're just a little annoyed all the time, or you get ticked off pretty easily, or, just kind of feeling frustrated a lot. Uh, so, but the danger of having these high levels of fury in your field is that it creates inflammation. And inflammation in the body is, it's like a wildfire. And anything that's an itis, dermatitis, colitis, diverticulitis, those are all the foundation of those itises, which is inflammation, is usually anger from an energetic perspective. Now, there may be other things that are also true that create inflammation, but I'm just talking from an energetic perspective. So those two things, and then I'll tell you two more things. So one, and I'll use this as an educational moment as well. Your left receiving hand is blocked. And so there's a circuit of energy that starts at our heart chakra. It comes out the right arm and creates a circle so that it goes through our arms, like out the right arm into the left receiving. So we give with this energy coming out the right arm, but we receive what we need in our life, whether it's love, support, money, rich resources, whatever. We receive that into our left hand. But if that's blocked, we won't be able to receive it. But then we might be blaming other people for not giving to us. I give so much to you and I get nothing back. And it may not have anything to do with them. So your left hand is blocked, so that makes it hard for you to receive what it is you need in your life. So I think that's enough for a quick little scan, Rosemary. So thanks for sharing, Carmen, and welcome, Rosemary. All right, Selma. Okay. Oh, you've been listening to the money affirmations for a while. Well, Selma, that's a good thing because at least your money frequency is high. It is at infinity. And you're aligned in every chakra except your root chakra, where there's fear. You never know when that money's going to run away or that the rug's going to get pulled out. And so that fear is keeping those beliefs alive. So those 20 chords I talked about earlier, yeah, that's it. All right, let's see. And Grey Goddess has been investing in stocks since 1990. It is fun. It can be fun. It can be fun as long as you see it as a game and don't put your whole life savings in there. And it goes up, it goes down. What have you missed? You've not missed anything, Sandy. Welcome. And here is Dana would like to know if she is grounded and whether she has any cords. So Dana, you are not grounded, and in your root chakra, there are 5 AI cords that are keeping some of that fury in place. So that's what's causing you to feel ungrounded or causing you to be ungrounded. You may not even feel it. So there is that. If you have any people cords, no people cords, just AI cords. Brooke, welcome back. I know you had mentioned before your Kagan water system. How are you liking it? Well, interesting you talk about that because I have not been able to set it up in my new place here because the attachment is a different size. So just yesterday, I got a new faucet. I don't think I have to install the whole thing, but I'm just going to do the hose and the thing where, yeah. Anyway, I love it. And it vibes at infinity. I know that Anthony Williams, he is kind of against it because the water passes through these metal plates. And so he thinks that then there's that you'll get metal, um, metal, it will cause you to have metal in your body. If you believe that, then the other part that I did, I don't always use it, but I got one of those Berkey water filters. And so it's like a passes through the big carbon thing setup. So between those two, I don't know. I think it seems like it's got it all covered, but I love it. And it also has a beauty setting on it. So when I get it set back up here again, that's where I wash my face, is in the kitchen sink with the good beauty water. So that's another thing I like to do. All right. Is courting to you. It's hard to know if you're courting to anybody else. That's like such a broad stroke, But if anyone is courted to you, no. So when you muscle test for that, what do you get? That's another thing you can muscle test. Are people courting to me? Yes or no? And then you can, if it's a yes, then you can check which chakra it's in. So another good question to ask your yes and no. Nancy, can my need for sleep be a result of the month's work I did with you? It could be. However, I don't know if we did the dream avatar together, but that would be definitely something I would recommend because yours is not grounded. So when you use the avatar, I'll use this as an educational moment here. An avatar looks just like that. You just use the image of a person, and this image then represents, it can represent a lot of things. In this case, we're going to use it to represent your sleeping space or your dream space. And so you run energy through this dream avatar the same way you do yourself. But first, you put those intentions above the rings, in the rings that are above the head. So in those intentions, you would put that you want, a restful night's sleep, that you sleep through the night, that you wake up refreshed, that you have pleasant dreams, that you feel safe when you're sleeping. A lot of people feel they have a hard time sleeping because they don't quite feel safe and they're always waking up So that would be what I would recommend, Nancy. Grounding your dream avatar. There's 20 of those AI cords right at the root chakra of that avatar. And it's only got 5 rings. There's another 20 cords up there as well. So go through the avatar as you run the energy through it and see what you find. But that would definitely help. Because you are grounded and everything is flowing from that perspective. Spell cord. Yeah, so that's what I would recommend, Nancy. Yeah. All right. Do you have a trip planned for 2026? I do. Yes. In April, we're going to be going to Sedona. It's going to be 5 to 7 days. We're still working on all the details. So, however, there is I don't know if I can talk about it here or how I will talk about it. I did some journeying with a woman in Miami. It's funny that I had met her many years ago when I used to go there a lot. And so I did, this was the last ceremony I was called to do. And so she's going to be at our retreat for 2 days. So there's going to be the first part of the retreat preparing for that part. And then the rest of the retreat will be integrating that part. So if you know what I'm talking about, great. And if you don't, then email us and we can chat about it. But some things there's only so much you can say. So anyway, it's going to be amazing, and I'm looking forward to that. So if you want to get on the wait list, email support@kimberlysherry.com and let us know. The list is growing. So there's only going to be maybe, I think she can only accommodate a dozen people. So that's going to be the limit. So if you want in, be sure to email support@kimberlysherry.com and we'll get you the info as soon as we have it. Okay, let's see what else. Cindy is here too. Great. For the first time. Well, welcome. Oh, that's great. We have a lot of first timers here. I love that. So that's nice. And yeah, because some of this might be kind of new or unusual, but I think most people have found that it really speaks to them on a different level. So yeah, be sure to ask your questions. Does activities like swimming in the ocean reset the grounding cord? I wouldn't say that in and of itself that's how you get grounded. I wouldn't say that. Um, I don't. It's definitely a very therapeutic, thing, getting in the ocean and really feeling invigorated and stuff. But whether it grounds you, maybe I'd have to. Well, let me see. Hang on. Mm, yeah. So when I ask that question, does swimming in the ocean ground you? I don't get a yes or no because maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Maybe for some people it does, but for other people, they're still ungrounded when they come out of the ocean. So yeah, it's much better just to put your grounding cord down. All right, I'm going to take some newer people here. Rosemary wants to know what she can do to unblock her left hand. So download the free meditation on my website. There's a 20-minute meditation there, and use that. So the part that's going to unblock your hand is the part where you're moving energy through your circle of reciprocity. So we give and receive. So that's how you would do that. And in your case, what's blocking that left hand? Curses, about 20 curses. So when you're moving that self-generated love, you self-generate love in your heart, bring it out the right arm in the left. That when you're bringing that self-generated love into your left hand, imagine that it's dissolving and transmuting the curses that are in your left hand. So that will work. All right, Kimberly. How do we not overthink the muscle testing? I can say my name and it will give me a no. I'm not sure how to explain it. I feel I overthink it and can mess with the answer. It's true. It takes a lot of practice. I started off doing dowsing. I found this thing in the gutter, actually, outside of the post office. And I knew exactly what it was when I found it. It was it looked like a silver acorn on the end of a long string. And then it had this, looked like it was made out of not bone, but like maybe a shell that was long. But I knew as soon as I picked it up exactly what it was. It was a gift from the universe, this dowsing tool. And so I used that for years and years and years. And so if muscle testing doesn't work for you, find something that does. Maybe doing the body pendulum, moving. It goes forward to say yes, it goes back to say no. do dowsing. Some people are good with those rods. So experiment, practice, and find what works for you. And it takes time, takes practice. So, but you got to just keep doing it. Um, okay, so Selma, when you mentioned earlier flare-ups ending in, so the itis, yeah, I remembered that rosacea recently showed up on my face. Yeah, that's all. Any inflammation, rosacea is definitely an inflammation. And so, since you haven't had a grounding cord in a while, Selma, all that fury backs up and it's going to show up in your skin, in your joints, in your muscles, you know. So maybe in your intestines and colon and stomach. I mean, it can be everywhere and anywhere. All right. If I'm depressed, I can't make it and get stable and function without chemical support. Is that also all connected to not being grounded in my body? Absolutely. Depression, in my experience, is anger that's pushed down. So it's depressed, pushed down. And so, yeah, you got to give it a place to go, Selma. All right. Yes, Sandy likes the beauty water too. Okay, great. Um, the ocean helps to clear your energy, not ground you. Thanks for that clarification. I would agree with that, Sandy. Sandy lives in Hawaii. She would know. Okay. Brooke, does my chocolate collagen vibe high for me? It does not. It's vibing at 250. You muscle tested, but wanted to see what you get number wise. I get 250. Yeah. And so also know that collagen, when we ingest collagen, it doesn't necessarily make collagen. It has protein in it. So I use it as a supplement, but it's got 10 grams of protein in it. So that's really more of what I use it for. Once I discovered that that's not really how our body makes collagen by ingesting collagen. Our body makes collagen in the body. I don't know. I don't know the function of actually how it works, but we can calibrate our collagen. So that's one of the many things that we can calibrate. When I do a human technology assessment where I measure about 150 calibrations of mostly of your physiology, and collagen is one of them. Collagen and elastin. And if you want, so I do this for myself and for private clients. But if you wanted to get more specific with like with your face and measure the collagen in your forehead. So it can be different in different parts of your face. So in the forehead, maybe up here on the eyes, maybe it's a little less, or that this is another place I need to focus on, or I do focus on, or right here under the eyes here. And so, or under the neck, those can all be measured, the collagen and elastin. So the collagen creates the scaffolding and the structure under the skin, and the elastin helps to keep it tight. So for those of you who don't know, me as a longevity mentor, I just celebrated my 70th birthday in South Africa. And so this is what I do to help keep my skin. So this is natural. I've not had any work on my face. And I think one time, it was probably, I don't know, 8 or 10 years ago, I was in Bali and I had one of those vampire facials, which is where they take your blood and they separate it. They separate the plasma from everything else. And then they inject that plasma all over your face. I can't say that it really did much other than my face felt very traumatized, but I don't really know that it did anything. And certainly after all these years, that would have worn off by now anyway. So, um, anyway, that's how how I keep looking youthful. When you are speaking of energetic implants, what all is covered under that term? Um, it is a term that relates to and it's etheric, so it's not a literal something you can tangible touch. It is an etheric implant that the dark side uses. They put this into our physiology to affect how it functions. That's really about all I know about it. That these implants, like the most I've ever found, it's not uncommon, that there can be up to about 50 implants throughout your physiology. And those are usually dissolved with a red flame in case this is, that's what I do anyway. I have a, a pennant. I'll try that. Thank you. Yeah, you can use a pennant. Anything that suspends from a string, you could use. Welcome. May I have a scan, please? And this is Bakwanka Lobby. I'm sure I butchered that. Um, let's see. You are grounded. Good job. Good earth energy. No worry circle. Heart is open, but it's not grounded, and it's only flowing like 3%. So you can have a big open heart, but the flow that's coming out of it is it's another story. So the thing that's blocking your heart from feeling like it can feel safe to open is in your sixth chakra, second layer, chords 20. So those 20 AI chords right here, creating fear. So that fear of being unlovable, fear of rejection, fear of being enough. So those fears that are not yours, that belong to these 20 AI chords that have been planted here by this ancient interference, are causing you to entertain these thoughts, whether they're conscious or subconscious, and that's what's closing your heart. Well, it's not closing the heart. It's causing it to not feel safe to be grounded, and it's causing it to not flow. So that is what I would recommend for that. Oh, let's see. So that was the heart. Okay. Since you came grounded, I always love that. Let me just check a couple other things. So the heart is one thing. Your circle of reciprocity is actually flowing, but when you amplify the self-generated love in your heart, and that's really flowing 100%, then that will also amplify everything that you start to receive. So make sure you open that up. You only have 2 rings above your head. That's going to affect what you're able to create, because the creative rings are partly how we create our reality. There's another 20 AI chords up there. So that would be my recommendation on that. Mhm. So boxes are not energetic implants. They are not. They're different. Yeah. It feels like they are. It's a bigger control mechanism that covers more things. I mean, it can create more control in different ways, whether it's creating fear or it's kind of a stop energy, you know. Mm. Yeah, but it is different than implants. But that's a good question. Thanks for that. Um, I'm gonna skip you, a great goddess Monique, right? And get to some of the newer people. um, so Bakwan Kalobi. She said she's felt that lately. Not my thoughts. I'll do one of your meditation scan soon. Good. Yeah. that would help. Um, Here's from Kimberly. Are you able to tell why I'm holding emotional weight? Nothing seems to help. So you're talking about like literal weight that feels emotional is what I'm hearing in that. Um, when I scan about that particular issue, you have a lot of fear in your root chakra, and that the 20 AI chords are helping to keep some of this fear in place. And so this fear, the weight is what is helping to keep that illusion of feeling safe. So, that's the much deeper dive, but that's just an initial, kind of scan of what's showing up. Um, your metabolism is low, it's only at 15%. Thyroid also low, only 15%. Um, and then hormones can also play a big part in our emotional weight. Mm, yeah, all three hormones, estrogen, progesterone, and testosterone, are all at 15% of normal for you. So losing weight is a much bigger picture, and it can involve a lot of different things. So a deeper dive with that would be in order. Um, Brooke, is there any way I can bring the vibration up with my chocolate collagen? So delicious. Uh, it's got a lot of good stuff in it. So 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Actually, no. So sometimes you can bring the frequency up of something by clearing what's showing up in your field, and nothing is showing up in your field, Brooke, to clear. So it is what it is. I wouldn't throw it away necessarily if you really love it. There's worse things, right? Sounds really good. But yeah, I don't know that I would buy it again or find a yeah, a different collagen thing. I don't know. All right, let's see what else we got. Here's one more. Kimberly, thank you. I haven't been able to tell what's going on with me, but no, it's been so off. Yeah. Sometimes things can get pretty tricky. All right, we're gonna jump over here to Instagram, and there's a few comments. Yay! So here's a relationship question, which I love, from Danny D. Will David return to me? So um, this next month, our next luminary activation is all about love, and it's about heart coherence. And it's also the first day of our next 12-day program, which is also all about love. So whether or not this David will return to you, I'm getting a no. Um, hmm, you two do have some unresolved lifetimes that you might want to clear. That might shift things. You have 20. He has 3. So you are again feeling like you're on the short end of the stick, like these other 20 lifetimes. So if you wanted to clear that, I'll just tell you where you could go to clear. And if you can calibrate, great. And if not, then I don't know, maybe you'd like to do a brief session. But you could go to the sixth chakra, 6-2, where there's a lot of fear, fear of fear of being unlovable. And in the heart, second layer, fury. But this is where when there's fury at the heart, that's usually where we're mad at ourselves and we make ourselves wrong. Like you're probably thinking, oh, all the coulda, woulda, shouldas. If I coulda, woulda, shoulda done this, then maybe he wouldn't have left. So, and then in your root chakra, second layer, more fear of failure and rejection. Yeah. So, that could be a much deeper dive, but that's some interesting information. Thank you for saying I look amazing. All right, that's it for Instagram. All right. So on Instagram, in order to comment, I think you have to like and subscribe or something like that. Somebody told me that once. Don't know if it's true. We're almost done. Otherwise, I would say come join us on YouTube and you could type in some questions there. All right, so what do we have here? Purple. Yes. How can I be more open to experience love and romance that is in alignment with my soul? That is the deep dive we're doing next month for 12 days. So it starts off with the luminary activation and then for 12 days. So, bringing in aligned love is not a one and done thing. There's like lots of layers to it. And so that's why I wanted to spend a whole 12 days devoted to this. So initially it starts with clearing all the places where we don't love ourselves enough, because that's the first relationship that filters out into all other relationships. So that's the first thing we're going to be working on. We're also going to be working on clearing out past relationships. Sometimes people are still courting to us. They're in our money pile, So old relationships can still be in our energy field. So we're going to clear that out. We're also going to be helping those who are in an aligned relationship already, but maybe it's a little sticky, crunchy, going to help them, give them a tool so that they can create a more aligned relationship. And also, there's some people who are uncoupling, like it's just not working out, but they don't know how to let it go, So that will also be addressed. And for those who are wanting to really call in an aligned partner, we're also going to be doing work on that. So a lot of good stuff. We're going to be clearing a mother wound, a father wound, unresolved past lives, lots of really amazing stuff. So over 12 days, we clear a lot of stuff. So if you haven't ever joined us for that, you can go to my website, which is on the screen, or it was on the screen, KimberlySherry.com. Let's see, where are we? And there it is. And scroll down to the 12-day immersion or 12-day intensive or 12-day whatever it's called. I forgot now. And join us so we can bring in the love that we are really deeply desiring. All right, we're almost done here. Let's see what else we got. Is it possible to calibrate and increase the number of creative rings? Well, that's a really good question. And I'll tell you the good news, bad news about the creative rings. You don't want to increase them in and of itself, because the rings, they are going to make everything bigger. They're going to create more intensely and faster. And so that might sound good, but if you have like a lot of fear in your space or a lot of anger, it's going to amplify that. It doesn't care what it amplifies. It's going to amplify everything, which can be a good thing, because then it's a little easier to see what's not aligned, what needs to go. But usually every time we do a luminary activation, we open those rings up. We open the rings up because there's usually something interfering with the compression of the rings. There's usually those AI cords, but Sometimes there's curses. Sometimes we find a lot of places in those 100 rings that are interfering. So it's always different. I never know what to expect. So come join us. Can we sign up on your website? I believe the link is live now. Yes. So that would be a yes on the website. It is ready to go. Um, you also get the recording so you can continue to do the work. Yes, thank you for that, Sandy. Yes, so they are all recorded and they live in perpetuity in a platform called Hello Audio. So you can listen to it anytime on your phone, long after the program is over. So you can listen to it over and over and over again and keep, keep clearing because there's, especially when it comes to relationships, there's layers and layers and layers of stuff. And so you could, go through, listen to the program or, do the program with us and then listen to it a month later and clear all new layers of stuff. So you keep getting deeper and deeper because you're going to attract what's going on here. And so this is why, a lot of people find that they keep attracting that same partner. Well, they haven't cleared the thing in here that keeps attracting that. So we're going to be changing that. And so you're emitting a new frequency, not from distortion, but from alignment, from Christ consciousness, coherence, and a much more open, higher vibrational heart chakra. So it's going to be pretty cool. I'm looking forward to that one. All right. Let me take one last peek over at Instagram, see if anything else showed up here. Your meditations changed my life. That's from Body by Meg. Well, thank you, Meg. They are life-changing. They can be, definitely. So thanks for sharing that. All right. Well, what's coming up? So this is the 10th of December. Yeah. So in starting January 1st, right out the gates, we are doing a deep dive. Unlike the rest of people who have it backwards and they start off the new year out the chute, out the gates with their resolutions in hand, ready to conquer the world. And so we are doing the exact opposite. We are going deeply inward because that's the energy of winter. The energy of winter is not Yahoo, let's go. That's not the energy of winter. The energy of winter is a pause. It's a time to go inward, repair our foundations and our structures and get everything ready so that come spring that we can emerge prepared, ready with all of our foundations fortified, and we can be ready to go that way. So just to kind of give you a little future trajectory of what we're doing here is that January is we're going inward. And so Spirit is directing us to really work on our relationship foundations. And then from there, that's going to emerge into spring, which for some of you, that might be a relationship, like a merging, they get the spring fever, and February is all about, that's love month, Valentine's Day. So that will also be about love and aligned relationships. It will be a little bit of a deeper dive, maybe just for the luminary activation. For those of you who don't decide to join us for the 12 days, that next one will be for relationships. But then come spring, we're going to start moving into the energies of business and money, because it seems to be an ongoing issue for some people. And so that's what we're going to be doing come, March, April, February, March. Yeah, March is going to be more about business and money. So that's a trajectory of where we're headed. And things are definitely changing fast, aren't they? It's hard to believe this is already the end of the year. It was 78 degrees here in Southern California. and hard to believe. So beautiful, blue skies. It's like, wow. Hard to believe it's winter and hard to believe it's almost the new year. So, lots to look forward to. And I hope you'll be joining us. Here's a good thing, I think. Practice your ABCs. Always be clearing. Yay! That's a great one. Always evolving. Love Kimberly's book and use it as a daily reference. Access your ultimate power. What an awesome resource. Thank you for all you do. You are so welcome. Anahara. Okay, yeah. Oh, Helmers. That you're this is Kathleen. Okay. Yeah, it's great. And my sister and I were hiding from the sun today. Yes. It is beautiful today. Man, feel so blessed here in where I live. This new place I manifested is absolutely amazing. Right outside my deck, the full moon rises right there. It's like I'll go out there with my headphones on and just watch the stars and get out my binoculars, and it's actually quite fun instead of scrolling. Yeah, it's my new thing. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight, and we will see you next Wednesday. And if you have questions, you can always email support@kimberlysherry.com. Thank you, Sandy. She says, I am blessed to have Kimberly in my life. Equally, I can't do what I do without all you guys. So thank you for all being here. We'll see you next week. Until we meet again, keep asking my favorite question. How does it get any better than this? And then stay in that blissful question of, I wonder. All right. Namaste. Turning all the things off. Mhm.